Can we get today's video to 100 likes? Let's find out. Hello, my friends. Welcome back in. Voice is a little lower this morning because I'm recording in the morning. Yeehaw. All right. We're here for year 21 and year 22. This is turning into the managerial part of the save, and I'm super excited to see how it goes. Had a great comment. I'm going to pull it up here. From Mateus Mendez, who said the yearly manager performance is right behind my head when you look at the past manager screen. So that's an easier way than going through all of the schedules. Thank you, Mateus. That's very, very useful information. I will make sure we use that here. Couple of interesting comments about, anticipating Marcus Thuram having the Singaporean national team gig, because he's got the stats for it. Mayor Shabazz said he hopes that Hetland's career will work out after having a really bad start at Uruguay. So I've stalled enough, I guess. Let's hop right into it. I do have a new patron, or really it's more of a returning patron. So thank you for coming back to us, Andrew Clooney. Really appreciate the support. You guys are amazing. We're at currently 52 patrons on the channel. My goal for the end of April is to get to 55. If you're not sure what Patreon is, there's a link in the description below. It's a way for you to financially support the channel, to say, hey, GHG, I like your content. If you can't afford to do it, don't worry about it. Watch the ads. Keep doing what you do. Hit the like button. Share this with all your friends. All that kind of stuff. Last announcement is there is going to be an upcoming managerial version of this experiment, and potentially another one. It may come out in April, most likely kind of first part of May is my guess. So that's going to be coming, so stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed, the thing is like over there, so hit that subscribe button. Okay, now let's go look at our managers, players. Let's look at Jordan Bradford. This is not good. Greg has no clients. I think that's a real shame from Football Manager standpoint. You would think an agent that had 11 really good prospects around the world at one point would pick up additional prospects, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Okay. Jordan Bradford has hung up his goalkeeping gloves. It looks like he just finished. He was with Schalke through 2039. Wants to be a manager. That might be a mistake. Goalkeeping coach, I think you got a better chance. That may be my bad from when I set up the save. But let's look. 38-39. He did get 8 starts. 7 conceded, 3 clean sheets on a 7-0-1. I'm just saying, for being 36 going on 37 in the Bundesliga, to have 8 starts on a 7-0-1, 3 cup starts on a 7.5, and a continental start with a 7.1 with a clean sheet. I'm just saying, I think it's impressive. I mean, I get it, right? He's about to be 37. You probably say, like, mate, it's been a good run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Would you do a testimonial for a goalkeeper? Ooh, see, this is what happens. You dropped a third when you don't play Jordan Bradford. Who'd they play instead? Looks like a cheaper option. Marco Derber. Yeah. He played a 6.8. I mean, and they paid $40 million for him. I mean, I get it, right? You bring in the guy, but you'd think you could have brought somebody in a year before maybe and like let him mature under the tutelage of Jordan Bradford. That's a little disappointing, isn't it? Okay, well, we can't take a look at any injuries or anything like that. Let me just pause real quick and see if I can go find the testimonial, if there was one. That's really disappointing. They were involved in 4 or 5 different testimonials, 3 of them in France, 1 of them with Manchester United, and they didn't do one for Jordan Bradford, who I think you can make the argument, once he peaked, they started winning the league. That's a tough pill to swallow, if I'm being honest with you. They won the runners-up the Champions League. That was last year. Well, he was there. Won the Champions League. Before that, they won the Europa League. They ran several titles in a row at the league level. and you can't give him a testimonial? I think that's a little harsh, to be honest with you. I definitely think it's a very interesting career, right? When you look at the career stats. Going from Indonesia, straight to Liverpool, which is unbelievable. And then they loaned him out, right? So Leverkusen, Denmark twice, Randers and Nordjylland, and the Turkish Super League with Göztepe. Then didn't play an entire season at Liverpool. And then they sold him for quite the nice profit, you could say, to Werder Bremen, who then immediately flipped him to Schalke, and then they got their money's worth, right? I mean, look at this. You have so many clean sheets, right? No fewer, aside from his first season, and that, okay, fair enough, but no fewer than 6 clean sheets when he was the starter, right? You get 3 down here, but he only played 8 games. That's a really good ratio. So that's a really interesting career to me. I'm curious if he's going to have, because we're going to do 2 years again in this episode. I'm curious. He's only got a national C. He could really work. Mate, you only played 8 games last season. You could have gotten some licenses under your belt. I'm just saying. All right, let's go forward. All right, we still have Juan here. He's still with Deportes Copapio. He went back to his. He's still with, or is that new? That's new, isn't it? Didn't we have another player? Maybe it was Aysel Hetland. But he's gone back to the club where he started. Oh, that warms my soul. And maybe we saw this last time. But no. Okay. I'm like, I think I would have remembered that. Maybe it was Aysel Hetland was the other one that already had landed a gig. But that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. They won in the playoffs. They won in the first round of the thing, and then the second round. Those are, yeah, that's impressive. Yeah. He had a national C, I guess, before. This is 2039. So they hired him with a national C. Changed his preferred formation from 3-4-1-2 to 4-2-3-1 wide. That's really interesting. They won in the playoffs. Okay. I just think it's interesting it has the individual players. Like, okay, great, fantastic. But he goes back to his where it all started. Where it all started before he went on his US/German career. That I don't know why. That kind of brings a little warmth to the soul that he's gone home. He's gone home. Okay. So let's see how he's done. Thanks to Mateus again about how we can take a look at the situation. Okay, so they sacked their manager after almost 4 years on September 11th of 2038 and signed Juan 17 days later. You can. He's won 39% of the time. He's 9-4-10. That's not great, but he just got there, right? He just got there. Everything's okay. I just love it. I love it. It does give you the overall stats, okay? But let's take a look. Okay, when does their league end? Okay, so you got the new manager bounce. Okay, so he wins 4 games at the end of, or 3 games at the end of the season, starting here, because this is the 25th. So he comes right in. They win 3 games, all on 1-0. That's kind of interesting. And then they draw to end the season. Okay. And then starting out the season, not as much of a bounce. Definitely not as good. Oh, is he at risk? That's not very. Where are they in the table? Because this is interesting because of the way the leagues are set up. We can kind of take a look at where they are in the table, right? They're 14th. So maybe what I saw last time was this was a chance because I think they were at the bottom of the table and that he was being considered for it. I gotta have my coffee. It's coming back to me. There we go. So 50. So yeah, they're they're hanging in there, and they won. Okay, so they did. That's not really his doing, right? Because they went on a run at the end of the season. And I'm guessing that run with 3 wins and a draw pulled them out of the pure relegation spot into the playoffs, and then they won in the playoffs. That's why it's showing those in the milestones. Like they avoided going down, and now they are still in that zone, but they're not, they're 3 points clear. Yay. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see, because again, we're going to hop forward a year in the same episode to see what happens there. It's not gone well, though. Now, maybe that they're out of the Copa Chile, that they can, really focus their efforts on rescuing themselves. They've got some time. We'll have to see what happens there with Juan. I think that's really interesting stuff. And he's studying for his national A. So at the very least, even if they get relegated, he's gotten a national A out of the deal. He survived a relegation battle once at the very end of the season. Maybe he can get something else. Yeah. Grant Corrigan is the manager of Norwich. And before that, he was the manager of Oldham. I really want to say Oldham, but I'm guessing that's not it. Straight into a League One team, huh? Oh, okay. That's news, I guess. The fact that they're down in League One. Not ideal, but I mean, he's a decent, okay. So he switched. Okay, let's go see what happened here. What's his history look like? That's his career stats. Why did I look at that? Well, that's not very good. You get hired on November 1st and you sacked on March 5th. Maybe they were in like a relegation battle or something like that, or maybe it went really poorly. And then he gets picked up and they finish 13th. That is really curious. Okay, let's go back and take a look. 7 games won, 2 games drawn, 12 games lost, 33% win ratio. That's not ideal, you could argue. So that explains why he got the sack. Okay. And he just got hired at Norwich, so he's only had like 2 months. I mean, from like a league standpoint. 3-1-1. Bit better, 60%. Now, it's not a very large sample size, to be fair, but definitely better than the other one. So he gets somewhere in here, 3-1-1. Yeah, so he gets signed here. Okay. So kind of like Juan coming in at the very end of the season, strong push. We'll have to see what next season brings. But I guess I'm just a little surprised. I've not managed at the League One level in England, so it just seems aggressive, right? I would expected Grant to have gotten a job in Scotland or, Scotland. I don't think, or like the German 2nd or 3rd division, but he's coming right in. Again, he's got pretty good stats. Like, I'm not arguing he's not got good stats, but I just think it's a little surprising. Okay, let's look at our next manager. I'm curious to see if Grant makes it a full season. We'll find out here in a minute. Jonathan Needham is still on the hunt. I think he's decent enough. 7.877. I mean, it's not like a 10 and an 11 on the management and the motivating like Grant, but he's not terrible. He could, maybe the licensing is not helping him. Maybe if he could get a B or an A license. Mate, you got nothing else to do. You've been sitting around for an entire year. Why don't you pick up a book? I'm just saying. But I think he's good enough to get a job somewhere. I'm just, based off his career history, where could that be? Like, could he do this? Essentially the Ascenso MX, like the 2nd division in Mexico? Could he do like Serie C? Something to where he's got some familiarity. He should be a known name. He played for 3 different major clubs in Italy. That's curious. Okay, we'll find out. Mike Vitek's managerial career has not started off well. He did not go last season with Donegal Celtic, so let's take a look here. Okay, it doesn't really say. Let's go find out. Okay, that was a caretaker. I was like, wow, they've had a bunch of managers in the last, a little bit. 5, 3, and 12. Yeah, that, fair enough, I suppose. How did they end up? Like, did he put them in a relegation spot or something like that? Okay, yeah, that'll do it, right? Now, to be fair, you're 17 points clear. It's not like it was that much of a risk. And I'm assuming this is some sort of a league split because this is different, but this is like, I'm sure, the championship round and the relegation round or something like that. So they survived. Is he gonna get another chance, or is that kind of Mike's career? You've had two clubs, and you've not made it an entire season. You've got 6 months at 2 different clubs. Does Mike get another shot? We'll have to find out. Aesel Hetland is available and wanted. Who's he wanted by? Stade Lavalley. You have to tell me. That's exactly how it works. Let's go take a look at the milestones. Got sacked. Right. Won in the 9th round. How many rounds are there? Oh my goodness. 7th round, 8th round, 9th round. I'm not familiar with the French setup at all. All right. Let's see how he did here. So he went almost a year. 14, 3, and 16. If you'd drawn a couple more games, you're probably still there. But that doesn't sound like relegation zone, right? Like, right? 45 points. That's okay for your first or second, but first real first time you got a whole season, right? -3 goal differential. I guess the board wanted more, but it wasn't like he got them relegated and it was just a complete, absolute disaster. Yes, winning 14 and losing 16 is not ideal, but you still won 14, right? You got 42% win ratio. That's not terrible. I think that's something where he should get another shot. That's just, his attributes are too good to not get a shot. So that makes sense as to why Stade Lavalley. And now I have to find out, where is that? Is that okay? 17th. Oh no, that's because the season hasn't started. Well, how'd they end up last season? Can he move up through? Okay, 14th. So the team right above them is like, you finished 15th, we finished 14th. Maybe you could take us to better heights. I don't know if that's a great bet or not. But again, he's got 11, 18, 12, 11, and a 5. Okay, the tactical knowledge is not his forte, right? So, okay, you sign a good coaching staff and assistant manager that has good tactical knowledge. You take care of the attacking technical stuff, and you sign a coaching staff to take care of everything else. You got 18 motivated. You should have the most motivated team on the planet, right? Okay, here we go. We've lost another one. It's kind of what I expected, right? His managerial stats weren't that good. Cabinteely, Charlton, Wigan, Fulham, Bournemouth, Stoke for 228 appearances. Sorry, man. Danny Dobson still on the hunt, but is wanted, so progress? He's wanted by Sligo Rovers. Why? Okay, he did play in England, but Sligo is in Ireland. They're in the Premier League, okay, right? They've kind of been that team that's bouncing up and down. So they just got promoted. They have a manager. Is this the interim? Maybe. Caretaker, yes. Okay. They sacked the Didn't they just get promoted? Oh, that was last season. Oh, right. Right. So they're in the middle of a relegation fight, and they just sacked their manager because of that. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Does Danny Dobson want to take on a challenge in a country that he's never lived or played in and see if he can rescue Sligo? I would love to know why that's a connection. Why would they be interested in him? Maybe there's something in his background that you're like, oh, of course, if these teams, they've got Sheffield United is the sister club to Sligo. I don't know, but we'll see in the next year. Marcus Fromm has taken the reins at the biggest club in Singapore. He left Home United. He's gone to Young Lions, and he's studying for a Continental C. This is exciting to me because he's getting a Continental license, and I think that's going to raise his attributes and his profile to where maybe other good things can happen here with his career. Maybe he won't just be a manager in Singapore. Okay, so he left of his own accord. They finished fourth, so it wasn't like he got sacked or anything like that. 15 days later, oh, wait a minute, there's an opening at the Young Lions. Oh, well, look, this guy just got signed. He got his National A, and then they've gone ahead and they've funded his next one, so that's exciting to see. So finishing fourth, we don't really need to take a look at that. Well, we can. Let's take a look at his win ratio. Okay, 12, 6, and 12. Not exactly lighting it up, to be honest with you. But again, first managerial gig. Fair enough. So 12, 6, and 12. And then we are halfway through. My goodness. We are halfway through the next season. 10, 1, and 2. Now, to be fair, this is like the biggest, best club that is, I think, won the league like many years running. They are only 2 points clear of Home United, so that's interesting. So his former team is giving him a push after finishing down here. But 59 points, 58 points. I mean, look at that. It's just Young Lions all over, right? Home United did win it in whatever this is, 2032. I'm about to sneeze. And for your non-listening pleasure, you can get to watch my sneeze face. Okay, but they are like the dominant team. So he's taken over the dominant team, but that's okay because as long as you don't slip, now that's where you could get into problems. They do have a game in hand. As long as you don't slip, that could, I think, bolster his reputation, right? He's 1.5 star. He matches the reputation of the club. He's going to get a Continental C. Will he be able to move up and move somewhere else? Like, can he get to Germany? He spent a lot of time in Europe, obviously. So could he get to the German second division or a lower league German Bundesliga team or something like that? Or like a championship or League One squad and work his way up. He's got decent enough attributes, I think. I'm excited to see where this ends up, and I'm curious to see if our comment about him getting the Singaporean national team would be accurate as well. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. Paul Colombani. I can't remember if he'd already signed. Let's go look at his history. No, he had not left as of the last episode because this was 3 days after that episode came out. So he was with Karlstad. He left of his own accord to go straight to... I know, thank you for all the wonderful comments about my ability to pronounce things in Swedish. I think Pekka Wickman, I think it was, that left me a comment was just a link to like some website on how to learn Swedish. Well played, sir. He's gone to IK Frey Toibe. Yeah, of course he has. Let's take a look at Karlstad here. Left of his own accord. Okay, 7/2/2038. So how'd they end up at 2038? 9th. I can't remember. Okay, that's in the middle of the season. So this is the first game without him. So before, I mean, okay. I just want to see if there was a bump. They definitely drew more games. Yeah, so you get rid of some of the losses. It doesn't look astronomically better. He was 9-5-9 with a 39% win ratio. That's what it says behind my head. The caretaker was 1-1. Okay. The next manager was 9-11-11. So that's a downgrade from Paul. That's kind of interesting. I guess it went into the next season as well because he just got sacked. So I'm curious to see what it was in the the second half of Paul's season But that's what happened there. And then, okay, 7-2. Okay, so he's had essentially a year at IK Fredde. That's how you say it. Yep. And 9, 10, and 15. They're 14th. And they're in the relegation playoff zone or something like that. To be fair, they're like, okay, 1 win gets you out of the zone. 2 wins hops you like up to 8th, right? So it's not like it's not survivable. But he's in the Superettan. Whereas previously, he was in Division 1 North. So he's definitely gone up. Like, he's taking on a bigger challenge, right? And they finished 11th last season. So they've kind of dipped a little bit, but I'm just kind of curious. I always like to see, like, the end-of-season bounce, right? Wait, so when did it get signed? 7-2. Because we could see his overall results, like the end of last season and beginning part of this season. But, okay, so he comes in, they win their first game, and then it's not great. They won a cup game, they won another league game. Kind of looks mediocre, but they weren't in the relegation spots. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games to get a win. Then you rattle off 1, 2, 3, and 5. You're saying there's a chance, but it is a move up. So as long as he can get a Continental B out of it, and these attributes continue to go up, I think he's still going to have a career. I hope. We'll find out. So this is where we're at. I've got him on the staff short list. I need to add, I guess, Jordan Bradford to it. So in terms of wages, Grant's making $9,000 a week. I mean, nothing like he was making. These guys are just working on, their managerial chops. Grant's going straight in. League One, let's go, baby. All right, let's hop forward to the next year. All right, let's take a look. Have we lost anybody? Do we have new jobs? Year 22. Jordan Bradford has picked up a job. Is that his original club? No. But he's with Persiwa Wamena. Okay. Right. Which is in the Indonesian 2nd division. Okay. Right. He's been there since this season, right? It's a January to December type season. He's only won 28% of his 2, 2, and 3. Where's the schedule? Oh, it's in April. It's not a January to December. It's an April to November. Okay. So he's just getting started. Too early to tell, I think, is what you say there, right? 2, 2, and 3, not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. Where have they finished in previous seasons? Okay, they finished in some qualification spot. All right. So the fact that they're in 9th is not ideal. What is ideal is that he didn't disappear and he's got a gig and he's studying for a national B. So we got to get the licenses on these guys. 88666. Okay. It's all right. It's not great. And he's got a contract through the end of the year. So they're like, mate, go get into the top 4 or whatever that looks like most likely, or you're done. He's making $600 a week. Not bad, but he's still here. So we'll have to see in the next episode, is he still there or has he moved on or have they just, and he's still looking? We'll have to find out. Okay. Juan has left his original club, gone to a different club, and is no longer there either. Garage Door. The Garage Door gives, the Garage Door takes away. I hope you enjoy it, Garage Door Fan Club. Can't wait to see the tweet about it from the Twitter account. If you don't know what I'm talking about, one of our amazing community members has started a Twitter account specifically for my Garage Door, which is just amazing. So let's see. He left of his own accord to go to Deportes Antofagasta and was sacked. So he goes 7 months, almost 8 months with them. Okay, let's go back to 2039. They finished 9th. Right? Okay, so he left in September. Somewhere in here. But a good chunk of that was his doing, like especially this run. And then he left, and then they kind of draw the season out. But it's not like they've done outstanding to start the season this season. So, okay, he did okay. He did okay, right? Yeah. 9th place finish. It wasn't necessarily his finish. And then he gets signed in September. Oh, my. Oh, well, okay. Okay, hold on. He took over a struggling club, right? They didn't win a single game until June 5th. So right before you hit the Copa Chile break, right? And the next game is in July from a league standpoint. Wins 3 games total, and then somewhere in here gets... Wait, no. No, this is when he got signed, okay? Hold on. Let's get this right. 9/5/2039 to April 21st of 2040. Okay, so the team he inherits has won 3 games the entire season. He comes in, he gets 1 more win and 2 draws, which isn't a great. It's not outstanding, but like it's not like he took over a dominant club and then tanked them. Like they were already bad. And then to start the next season, looking better. You get, 5 points in the first 3 games? Okay, a little bit of a blip. You win another game, and then they give you the sack after a draw. I think that's a mistake, to be honest with you. They finished in 16th, so I guess they went down. And they were on their way down. So that's probably, that's probably why he got the sack. But is that really a fair thing to do? Right? Like, he inherited a really bad team. So 17 points. Yeah, they were going down, And then last season, okay, he was with who? Deportes Antofagasta. Okay, so yeah, okay, they were in the league above and they went down. I think that's harsh. Personally, let me know what you think about that. I don't know if that's justified what they did. When you only win 50% of your games, again, they had really, there's a milestone, right? Got relegated. Really tough time of it. Next guy's won 66% of the games, but that's because he's in the division below, and he only had 3 games. And then next one's won 40%, but they're in the division below. So I don't think Juan's a bad manager. I think he's going to get another chance. He's going to get his Continental B. Someone's going to sign him. Grant Corrigan's got a new gig with Forest Green. Okay. So many changes. 12, 13, 10, 8, 9. Pretty good looking manager. Studying for his Continental C. That's huge. He got sacked at Norwich, okay, in September, and then Forest Green picked him up. So let's go take a look at Norwich. 9/17/2039. Overall, won 44% of his games. Not a really long time. 8, 4, and 6. That's kind of crazy. Were they at like risk or something like that? And they're right in the middle of the pack. 8, 4, and 6. It wasn't like he was sinking them. Is my official opinion. Got signed in April, sacked in September of 2039. So again, we saw this already, right? He comes back, they get a big bounce with him coming in, and then they didn't really give him a long time. Now, to be fair, they won 1 league game. (9/17). They won 2 league games in whatever that is, right? In the new season. So, not a great start. And then they've rattled off some wins. But some of those are a couple. They beat Manchester. Oh, that's the under-23s. I was like, they beat Manchester City in the EFL. What the? was very confused there for a second. Okay. All right. Maybe justified, maybe not. Forest Green is another League One team relegated from the championship. That's interesting. And they brought him in the January window. He's only won 20% of his games, 3-3-9. Ooh, gosh, not the best. And their previous manager left of his own accord. So he was like, I'm out. Okay, so January 30th. 1, 2, 3 wins. Yeah, but I mean, look at that. That is not good. So they got promoted, and essentially they weren't quite ready for the Skybet Championship level, and now they're back in League One. Okay, so he took over like a relegation team, and they're right where they probably should be. Right? That's what I'm gonna say. So now to be curious to see, can he get them back up? Right? Do they have a good enough team here? Right? They got relegated, but they haven't sacked him yet. It's early days. It's the summer window, but he's still there. What do you think happens with Grant? Do you think he's good? $6.5 grand, a little bit of pay cut. Is he good enough to go back up? I think this might be the end of the road for Jonathan Needham. Nobody's signed him. Nothing to show. Hasn't, and all his time off, hasn't picked up any more licenses. Maybe it's because you have to be working with a team to get a license. Dude, go work with a youth team. I'm just saying. Get a coaching gig. You may be a decent coach somewhere. I'm just saying. Maybe the same thing for Mike Vitek. Didn't get that Continental license. Would be a good, youth coach, attacking youth coach, working with youngsters as an 18. Might be the end of the road for Mike as well. As expected, Aesel Hetland is with Stad. Looks like he's up to a 19 unmotivating. Still doesn't know tactics to save his life. Okay. He's on contract until 2041, so they've extended him. Or signed him to an original deal. I guess we could take a look, couldn't we? Signed an extension just a month ago, less than a month ago. Okay, signed in, they finished 9th. That doesn't sound great. Okay, 2039. July 3rd, 2039. Let's go take a look at his... He's been there 362 days, won 39% of his games, 17, 13, 13. Not great, not terrible. $39. Finished 9th. Okay. And really not that far off. And they finished 14th the season before. So he's moved them up 5 places. Okay. All right. And because of that, they extended him. We have somebody that's going to stay in the club more than one season. That's exciting. So we'll have to see if he stays there, right? He's not wanted by anybody. He just signed a new contract. He's got his Continental B. His attributes are increasing. This is a good sign for Hetland, I think. Let me know what you think. Because technically he's in a contract year, right? Will they extend him again? Or are they just kind of waiting to see how it turns out? I am shocked. I'm shocked. Could he not come to terms? That would be listed, right? Yeah, he didn't. They didn't sign him. Solanke is the manager. What? Okay. Danny Dobson has left us. Marcus Fromm still with Young Lions till the end of the season. Will he get extended? Studying his Continental B. Looks like he's improving a little bit, I think. Take a look at the milestones here. Oh, okay, that's the cup. Okay, head coach of the year. When you take over the dominant team, you win head coach of the year. Okay, but they won the league, so that's all you can do. They won the league and the cup, or the Star Hub League Cup. I don't know what the Singapore Cup is. Maybe that's like the FA Cup. I'm not sure. But they did, they did all right, lads. Continuing the dominant situation there. What's his record look like? 68% won, 32, 10, and 5. That's pretty good. I mean, look at this. 1 loss this year, 2 draws. They're doing quite well. So will he outgrow the club, I guess is my next question. Do you think Marcus Fromm is going to get good enough? Okay. Okay. They signed him to a new deal. It looks like they're doing like 1 year at a time, right? September, and then, hey, we'll bump you up for a year. Is he going to get good enough? I mean, this is good because like he's in a good club where he has good players. They're dominating the league, which is hopefully going to raise his reputation continuously. His attributes should continue to increase slowly. And then what? Paul Colomani has moved again. He's with Sandez Off. 1.7K a week. He got sacked. 828. Okay, we'll take a look. And then, okay, this was, okay, they got relegated. That's probably why. And then, oh, he's gone to Norway. I thought that was ringing a bell for my Scandinavian journeyman. Okay, 828. Let's just look at his overall record. Okay, 25% won. There you go. 11, 13, and 19. Kind of understandable. And then, when did it get signed here? 9/10. September 10th, 2039. So he's been there 293 days. He's only won 31% of his games. 7, 3, and 12. He's just figuring it out. Okay, so 9/10. Okay, they had a bunch of draws. Boy, isn't that the classic thing? Like, you're not happy with your manager. Oh, we got to win more games. You're drawing. And then you sign a new guy, and then he loses his first 2 games. Or 1, 2, 3, 4 of his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. But he gets 3 wins. Okay. And then the following season, it takes until the end of May to get a first league win. My guess is he is not long for that club. They are bottom of the table, 9 points. Last season they finished 36 points. Of which, 9 of those were his points? 27? But this is how it goes, right? When we're starting out as a manager, you're trying to figure things out. Your attributes aren't great. You're getting your licenses. You're busy studying. He's got a contract through the end of the year, and then I think he's probably going to get the axe because they're going to go down. I mean, they're 4 points off, but from safety. But anything could happen. But we'll see. I guess. All right, my friends, that's where we're going to wrap up today's episode. Once again, I want to thank you for your support on this series, on the channel, all this stuff. I want to, again, thank these guys, Greg Baxter, everybody that's a supporter on Patreon. Really appreciate it. Will we see the end of Jonathan and Mike? Next episode, will Juan have a new gig? What is going to happen with Grant and Paul? I'm kind of curious about that. Lots of things happening here. I think there's a chance that these guys continue their careers. So that's where I think it's gotten interesting. And if we just need it to be interesting enough where they stay around, right? Like, you can move clubs and get axed, whatever, but you need to continue to increase your attributes so you don't leave the game because no one wants to sign you. So we've got some people in management spots. One, I think, has a chance to pick up one. So we could have 6. I think Jonathan and Mike are going to leave us. Let me know what you think in the comments, though. Hit that like button if you haven't done it by this point in the episode, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.